what do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea! Ah! Ah!
That's right. Shop smart. Shop S-Mart. You got
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Hey everybody, it's just kind of reading here. How y'all doing? Who is this hero striding across the red desert? Sheep shearer, beer drinker, bush ranger, and someone who will even eat a meat pie floater when he's sober. Wow, that's the back page of Terry Pratchett's book, The Last Continent, which is definitely a book you're going to want to read. The introduction says, Discworld is a world and a mirror of worlds. This is not a book about Australia. No, it's about somewhere entirely different, which just happens to be here and there a bit Australian. Still, no worries, right? The character gives he writes in his diary about his a typical week in this not Australia land. Probably Tuesday, hot flies, dinner, honey ants, attacked by honey ants, fell into waterhole. Wednesday, with any luck, hot, flies, dinner, either bush raisins or kangaroo droppings, chased by hunters, don't know why, fell into waterhole. Thursday, could be. Hot flies, dinner, blue-tongued lizard, savaged by blue-tongued lizard, chased by different hunters, fell off cliff, bounced into tree, pissed on by small gray incontinent teddy bear, landed in a waterhole. Friday, hot flies, dinner, some kind of roots which tasted like sick, this saved time. Saturday, hotter than yesterday, extra flies, very thirsty. Sunday, hot, delirious with thirst, and flies. Nothing but nothing as far as the eye can see, with bushes in it. Decided to die, collapsed, fell down sand dunes into waterhole. It's Aussie Overlaw'd.
G'day, Cobbers. How we doing today?
That's the best introduction I could give our guest.
That was easily one of the best introductions I've ever had. How have I never thought to use Terry Pratchett for that? That is amazing.
The Lost Continent was the first book by Terry Pratchett I ever read.
Oh, there you go.
And I still have it from, what was it, 90-something? I think I got it in like 93, 94. Yes. Oh my God, how do you choose one of those poll options? You are so awful, Jeff. Oh yeah, my like and subscribe poll today. Make sure you like the video and subscribe, and then take our little poll. Did you smash the like and subscribe buttons? Yes, I'm so emotional. Wallaby damned, I did in fact. Yeah, but is 6 just an Aussie 9? Or, of course, because it's drop bears.
You forgot the most obvious one, though. Of course,
what?
Because I'm after an Aussie kiss. Like a French kiss, but down under.
Oh, there you go, saucy. We're off to a good start with that one. Well, the other introduction I was going to do was slightly more offensive, but much funnier. Are you familiar with P.J. O'Rourke?
Vaguely, yeah.
American political commentary guy. Used to work for National Lampoon. He wrote an article back in the 70s that could never, ever, 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 ever be written today. Foreigners Around the World is what it's called.
Oh, this will be good.
Yeah, well, the official title is Foreigners Around the World, a brief survey of the various foreigners, their chief characteristics, customs, and manners by P.J. O'Rourke. This was in National Lampoon, Australians. And I gotta bring this up here so I can look in two places at once. What have I done? What have I done to myself? All right. This was the alternate introduction I was going to give, but I didn't opt for that one. But see what I did? I got to read them both. Racial characteristics. Violently loud alcoholic roughnecks whose idea of fun is to throw up on your car. The national sport is breaking furniture, and the average daily consumption of beer in Sydney is 10 3/4 imperial gallons for children under the age of 9. Making a shambles is required study in the primary schools, and all Australians are bilingual, speaking both English and cheap. Probably as a result of their countries being upside down, the local dialect has over 400 terms for vomit. These include Technicolor yawn, talking to the toilet, round trip meal ticket, and singing lunch. I can't read that sentence. It's about we can't talk about those people disparagingly anymore. Some of the peculiar forms of wildlife have up to 9 assholes. The recent destruction of Darwin by a hurricane was actually a cover story for the regrettable coincidence of paydays on 3 separate sheep stations. Amusing zoos. Proper forms of address: steady there, cool off, oh for Christ's sake, not in the sink, stay back, I've got a gun. An anecdote illustrating something of the Australian character. A Australian fellow asks his girlfriend to fight, but she says she doesn't want to because she isn't feeling well. What do you mean not feeling well, he says. You know, she says, I've got my time of the month. What do you mean, time of the month, he says. You know, she says, I've got my period. What do you mean, period, he says. You know, she says, I'm bleeding down there. And she opens her pants to show him. Jesus, he says, no wonder you're bleeding. They've gone and cut your cock off. That was how I was originally going to introduce our guest, Hayden, but I decided not to.
Okay, firstly, I want to say I take offense with that. That is easily an understatement of the amount of alcohol that children drink here. And while we're at it.
Oh, there we go. I got an Aussie cool. Yep. And as I was telling Hayden before we signed on, Dr. Pepper Zero came to Korea today. At least it came to my neighborhood today. Shiloh Namir says, I have the hat minus the corks. Well, if minus the corks, you get bitten by the hot flies that Rincewind was talking about.
This is true. This is true.
And speaking of hot flies, wait.
Ooh,
I thought there was... Nice. Oh, yes. Stingy, who's been a member for 6 months of the Clean and Sober crew. Free chat, Morning Law Racks. Morning, Gaydon. Don't drink Prime. We need you.
Yes, that would be my ADA appointed making my life a living hell. But he's a good guy.
There you go. And speaking of good guys, the first super chat of the day, goes to Let's Go Brandon. Why is there a live chat button that tells me to click the new live chat button below it? Oh, what? There's new live chat buttons?
Yeah, they've updated the YouTube app, so it's really stupid now. Apparently live chat is moving.
Oh? Where's it moving to? I haven't seen this. This hasn't worked its way anyway. I guess we'll find out, huh? Yeah, live chat button below it. Since you are on your anniversary tour, I humbly request watching a clip of you tanking those 2 mixed drinks on the first F at Friday. Oh, they will feature prominently into the show on Friday. But we're starting off today's show properly with the big old super chat. And I don't know if you've tried yet, Let's Go Brandon, but let me know if that information I provided you the other day was successful. That's a really good drink. It's Bowmore 12, by the way. Same as I have to drink this because I sort of swigged out of the bottle last night with Joe. Thank you so much. We want dog. Oh yeah, just Doggo. I haven't even looked to see if the Doggo Cam is set up. So hang tight, people. I don't even know if Doggo Cam is operational or functional. Let's see. Click on extra camera. The answer to that question is no, not yet. We'll kind of have to work on that as we go along. So it doesn't look like I'm screwing around for 15 minutes trying to get the stupid dog cam to work. Because I was almost going to be really super late, but I wasn't. So we'll sort it out. Wild Rose 1905. Hey Hayden, here's your donation for Matsuri. Sadly, won't be going to you.
That's fine. That is perfectly fine.
If he reminds me, I'll make sure to give it to him when I sees him.
Yeah, at Matsuri.
Yeah. Your browser cannot access your device. Well, I figured that out when it didn't come up. But all right, anyway, we are continuing our month-long tour, our annual, hopefully it'll be annual, our first one-year extravaganza blowout here with people that I like, people that I hang around with, people that influence me, people that we do things with, people that we just find to be all around good peoples, which would be Hayden. So that's what we're doing today. One of my favorite peeps. It's nice to have someone relatively in my time zone, depending what time of year it is, only 1 or 2 hours ahead. It's always nice there's someone up around the same time you are, so you don't get other people on your stream going, but I haven't been up since 9 o'clock in the morning since like 1974. Sorry, I have a real job too.
I tell you what, I was listening to the one with you and Joe from last night, and it's just, yes, the ADA works in Australia too. It's the Australians with Disabilities Act.
See how that works, MG Law?
Mind you, half Aussies are just the Australians with disabilities, so, it's you're either plastered or you're an ADA. So you really can't tell the difference when you actually come here from another country.
So, Sovereign Bosman says, this is such an amazing grift, Jeff. If you do a month-long anniversary each year, you have 8% of the year's content done without issue. Oh, it's a bigger issue to do this, to work schedules and arrange things, and it's actually a much bigger pain in the ass than just turning on the microphone and talking about whatever is happening around the world. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be just having our freewheeling discussion like we've done with everybody else. We have emergency stories just in case, and then we have some stories we just have to read because... that's one thing that I like about Aussie. One thing I like about Hayden is he does his saucy takes with his Kinky Corner and irreverent other things early in my morning. He's usually
speaking of which, I'm going to take this opportunity to griff for that, by the way, because for anyone that didn't see it, I put out a post. Kinky Corner has, thanks to some jerks that decided to be Karens, been relegated to locals exclusives, people. So if you want to catch that content, head over there, Aussie Overlaw'd at .locals.com. Once we get over the 50 membership, I will actually be able to stream for longer than a half hour, because despite the fact that other people have emailed and contacted locals and asked for exemptions, I'm just too small, apparently. So,
wait, now what? What happened?
Oh, so...
someone got their knickers in a twist?
Literally, yes. Apparently, Kinky Corner was a little bit too... out there for them, because, trying to normalize certain things about sexuality, about things that are in the news, about whatever else, apparently that's just enough to piss some conservatives off.
So that part that says Kinky Corner that they probably read and ignored and decided they wanted to jump in anyway.
Yep, basically. They actually went back and reported like 8 of my 10 Kinky Corners that I had.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, it's been relegated to... another area. Yes, David Nelson, apparently I am just too small. I mean, look, I now have 19 active supporters over on local. I got to get to 50 so I can start streaming for longer than a half an hour at a time. So, guys, if you want to head over there, feel free.
Absolutely. Get over there to locals because we need our Kinky Corner to get sorted out. Oh, and by the way, I hope I didn't offend all the other Australians here. Alan reminded me of that. It's all in good fun, people. All in good fun. Yeah. Well, this is origin story time. This is, we've all seen your handsome, your devilishly handsome face. Oh, by the way, is the missus coming around to the facial hair?
She said so long as I don't go the full beard. She said so long as I don't go to the full beard that it'll be okay. And I've got to try and keep it neatly trimmed and whatever. And it's just like, well, it's a lot of work. But I went out, got the sized shaver and all that sort of thing so it doesn't get too rough. And all that sort of stuff.
Well, there you go. So I told you she'd come around to it. And I'm trying to get the other camera to work because literally everything I own, everything that is connected to this computer is undergoing firmware updates. Like literally everything.
You'd never guess.
Yeah. And this hasn't worked since the firmware update after I got off with Joe last night. Anywho, so I guess let's start with the origin story. What prompted you, a successful Australian lawyer with 2 offices, to do this? A
bout of insanity, really. I mean, like many others, I went from gavel to gavel watching the Johnny Depp trial with bites and, occasionally with Nick and that sort of thing. And basically I looked at that and went, hey, how hard can this be? Second stupidest decision since I decided to open my own firm. So it was back when, Rob had just sort of started being ingratiated, that sort of thing. And they were just sort of starting to talk about the gatekeeping on the whole law tube sort of thing. And I was like, well, shit, before we bring in red tape, and I think I actually sent a leader a super chat, and I said, quick, before you close the gate, before the red tape, can I throw my hat in the ring? And Rob was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I was like, fine, all right. I think it was about 2 days later or something, I set up a camera, started talking about... What was it? I think the first ever video I did was Novak Djokovic and him not wanting to use an umbrella before coming to Australia, which was a mandate at the time. And then gun laws here in Victoria, basically. And I sort of really came to prominence when there was a discussion over what to call the group. And I just happened to be watching. I can't remember exactly whose channel it was on, but... potentially criminal Sean piped up and he said, hey, I know, why don't we call ourselves the Law Patrol? And boy, did I jump down his throat. I was like, don't you fucking dare, that's my name. And on stream, he went and looked up and he's like, holy shit, there's actually a channel called that. So I think Sean was actually probably the first big person that I, went on stream with prior. So, and it sort of just unfolded from there.
Well, and you also, this is one thing that maybe people don't know, and I haven't heard the end of this story, actually. That was part of the big Johnny Depp trial, was them taking their pets illicitly to Australia. You were trying to get those records. You went through a major process and actually went through legal channels to try to get exactly what happened and how it was covered
9 months later.
9
months later, and here I am about to launch launch legal action against the Commonwealth government over it.
You're still looking for it.
No. They said, so basically they spent 6 months telling me that there were over 6,000 pages of documents. They said they were going to give me access to 9 documents, total of 73 pages. One of which was a blank piece of paper that they emailed to me.
A blank piece of paper.
Yes, and they classed that as one of the 9 documents that they sent to me. Not happy, Jan. So yeah.
Here's your request. Your blank piece of paper.
Basically.
Yikes.
So, no, it's... I mean, look, with how they've sort of... I'm of the mindset that there's one of two things is happening. One, the government has changed hands since this happened. It's now so federal has switched to our... See, it's really difficult explaining it because our Liberal Party are our Conservatives, where it's literally the Liberal Party is... The named Liberal Party is for our Conservative Party, and the Labor Party is more our left side of things. Now, Labor's in power at the moment, and I don't think they give a shit. If anything, I think they're trying to intentionally ignore it so that they can give a black eye to Barnaby Joyce, who was basically second in command at the time. He's the one that threatened to have one of the dogs put down. Now, and then she proceeded to name her new dog after him, which I thought was a bit much.
That's interesting.
But anyway, I feel like one or two things is happening. Either they're deliberately ignoring it, or they don't want to give me any information because they're actually doing something themselves. I don't know which it is. If nothing happens in, say, the next 3-4 months, though, I will be starting my own action against them for not providing documents adequately.
Wow.
Because I'm sorry, but out of 6,000 pages...
That's pretty cool, actually. You're taking on the government.
Well, someone's got to.
You got 8 pages and a blank one.
Yeah, basically. Of 6,000. And I refuse to believe that every one of those pages can be excluded on the basis that it would provide personal information for something. I'm sorry, that's why redaction exists.
Well, yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Do they just not redact the documents line by line, or is that what they're supposed to do, but they're just telling you to go intercourse yourself?
Well, see, the documents that they did provide, they did redact part of it.
Okay, well, that answered that question.
So they've done both. They've basically said, here, go stuff yourself, but we're going to provide you a couple of blank pages that mean absolutely nothing. So,
Wow.
But anyway.
So this saga's been going on for, 9 months?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It
Actually,
sounds like it's just starting.
Was it July? Yeah. No, it'll be 9 months now. Yep.
But
It was July last year.
But do you feel like Don Quixote, like tilting at windmills and taking on the invisible monsters that? Or
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's at some point I do have to sit back and think, is it going to be worth it? I mean, we know that she's disappeared to Spain. Apparently, there's something in the news that she's went for a run and quit Hollywood and that sort of thing. If she never sets foot back in Australia, I don't really give a shit. Okay, I really don't. But I mean, if she decides she wants to get back into film, or if she wants to set foot back here, I'm more than happy to serve her personally.
Well, now there was talk of having her arrested if she shows her face in Australia again. Do you think that's going to be a thing, or was that just the talk of the time?
I think that was probably the talk of the time for the government at the time, because as I said, they've changed hands, and I don't feel like Labor really give a shit at all, honestly, which is really annoying, frankly.
Wow. So you started right about this time then? This time last year? Do you have your origin date?
Oh, my origin date was 31st of May. So my
there you go.
My 1 year
weeks.
anniversary is coming up in about 3 weeks.
And apparently, if you do like this for a whole month, you have 8% of your annual shows taken care of. If you just pull it out over the course of a month, or so I'm told. Well, what are some of the what was do you think was the biggest mistake you made over the last year, and what was the thing that you did most correctly with your YouTube journey?
Thing I did most correctly was grabbing onto certain individuals' coattails and riding the wave. Hence why I'm here, people. Let's face it. Biggest thing that I did wrong, getting involved in drama and learning the hard way to stay the hell out of it.
Oh, which drama did you insert yourself into? Let's talk about it again.
Let's not. I work very hard to stay out of drama these days, so...
Yeah, which one was it?
We all know that there are certain content creators that manage to create drama pretty much everywhere that they go. Okay?
Okay, yeah. We call him
giving Stingy attention. No, see, Stingy, I'm happy to give you attention, buddy, because then you don't wind up suing.
Yeah.
Like certain others. So...
Well, because that's what happened to me is I started, and 2 weeks after I started, I mean, I'd been on Nick's stream, I'd been on Legal Bice's stream, I'd been sort of hanging around with everybody I could weasel my way into somehow, and then 2 weeks later, everything went to hell, and I'm thinking, why? I just got here. Why? Why is this happening to me? This whole thing is going to blow up in my face, and I had nothing to do with it. And then people are like, which side are you on? Let's take it. I'm not taking anybody's side. I've been here 2 weeks. I'm not a complete idiot. I'm staying way out of this.
See, and that's the scariest thing is that when you wind up in the middle of it, and it's because it's basically through no fault of your own, you're the passenger with the pilot taking the plane down in a nosedive, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So, but no, that's why I jumped out of the plane with a parachute and just left everyone else to their own devices.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you just got to do. And me, I'm so firmly in Nick's camp where this shit is just to have fun. I just want to have fun, entertain people, make people laugh. Well, actually, frankly, I want to make myself laugh. I don't care if anybody else laughs with me. If I think something's funny, I'll do it within reason. But just stay out of it. And like I said, unfortunately, there's people that just can't stay out of their own way. That you just got to say, dang, that sucks. But leave me out of it. I want nothing to do with it. Basically. I do laugh at myself because why not? Somebody's got to laugh at me. Nobody else does.
Well, it's like okay. You know what? My most embarrassing thing, for anyone that knows, was probably 2 weeks ago.
Oh yes.
Yes. that footage of me spewing on camera is going to be out there for the rest of my life.
You did it so classily, though.
So many people, like friends that I interact with on YouTube and elsewhere that watch that, didn't even notice until Alyssa clipped it. The Chunder from Down Under. Yep.
There you go. Yeah, it was pretty smooth. I like that.
Well, I mean, look, if you don't laugh at yourself, if you don't steer into the skid, if you don't recognize that you're human, you can't do this. You just can't.
Yeah. Now, speaking of humans, let's pay attention to a couple of them. Flux says, haha, yay, the bug hat. Thanks, Flux. And Solomon Anderson bringing the saucy heat. I appreciate that Hayden is confident enough to talk about how small he is on the internet.
300 followers on locals, 13,000 on YouTube. I acknowledge that I am a smaller content creator.
I think he was talking about your genitalia.
Oh, I know. But
I know. I just wanted to make sure in case anybody missed it. Which, being small. No. Not that I know. I have no idea. And speaking of Solomon Anderson, he will be on my show on Tuesday, whatever the 17th is. That would be Wednesday the 17th. The sentencing's on the 16th. Want to join me for that, Hayden?
Yeah, sure. Might as well.
Solomon, what time is it? I know you told me what time it's scheduled for, but I can't remember exactly what you said. I actually can't even remember vaguely what you said. If you're still here, post that up there in the chat what time things are supposed to get underway. Because I'll have Megan Fox on from, 9 a.m. Eastern to 11 a.m. Eastern. And then feel free to jump on over to join me after that. But speaking again of the Zachariah Anderson deal, we've got the shirt. We've got the free Zachariah Anderson shirt going here. So it arrived 2 days ago. So yeah. And it's got Beyond a Reasonable Doubt on the back. It's a really great shirt. I mean, this is really, really good material. So we'll be wearing it for the sentencing in solidarity of everyone that's also going to be doing that. All right. Let's see. I'm confused as to how Aussie Overlaw'd is close to your time zone when Australia is an imaginary country.
So is America. Prove me wrong. We're all part of a simulation.
If it is an imaginary country, it can be anywhere in time. You're welcome, Solomon. It's literally the very least thing I can do. But please put up in the chat what time the sentencing is supposed to start. Like I said, I can't even remember.
Okay, hang on.
Right.
It's bugging the hell out of me. Why are there divots in the dog's fur?
Because English Bulldogs are like the worst. They're just like genetically right at the bottom of dogs' DNA. They've just been so perverted by humans over the last 100 years. They're allergic to everything. Everything bothers them. They're sick all the time.
But they're so cute. They're so cute.
Mine are ridiculously healthy. Apparently, I mean, I apologize to the vet because I'm in there at least once, most often 2 times a month for something. And I'm like, oh my God, you're probably so sick of hearing me. Oh no, we have people that come in twice a week, and your dogs are really healthy for bulldogs. But in the winter, they get kind of like eczema on their skin, okay. And so the fur kind of gets crusty. Their little skin gets crusty, and the fur falls out. It's growing back, huh? Mm-hmm. And 2 years ago, Yoda had some deal where there was some vitamin D deficiency, and literally most of his hair fell out.
Well, see, I mean, look, with our Labrador Angel, whenever the seasons change, one of two things happens. She loses control of her bladder, or she gets the big coat in, and then when it falls out, and I swear we rake a second Labrador out of her.
Oh man, and that's what's happening right now. I mean, they're short hair. I always thought short hairs didn't shed that much. English Bulldogs do. Honest to Christ, don't know how these dogs have any hair on their body right now. I honestly don't.
So weird. Isn't it? Because by the time you pull all the hair out, you cannot understand how the dogs still have hair on their body.
I could sit and brush them for an hour and hair would still keep coming out. And it happens all the time anyway, but now I literally have carpet. Like, every day I get like a new carpet.
Yep.
I get to watch Strawberry Tunnel and Yoda just be an idiot.
I just thought it was funny that they went from one bed to another,
Yeah.
and now they're both taking up the beds. That's cool.
Kind of sort themselves out.
Oh,
And Stingy said, worst thing, giving me attention. Pretty
all
much.
right. You're
Sovereign
right,
Bosman, Legal Vices, you can't stay neutral. This is high school. YouTube, you have to pick sides. I pick my own side. I'm on my own side. And the Japanese Yakuza 1 just took my last glass of Octomore 12.2. If I recall correctly, that would be the duty-free edition of Octomore 12. Octomore is fantastic. The expensivest whiskey I bought. Don't really remember the exact price, but around duty free. It's right around $200. Holy F, I love it. It is it's the peatiest whiskey on planet Earth, but it's not. It doesn't just taste like burnt rubber, old people, and bandages. It actually has these amazing floral notes under it. It's great stuff. Octomore is awesome. I have 2 bottles that I've been sipping on for about 7 years. Because I just don't want them to disappear. Zeno the Stoic. I enjoy Jeff on a stream when everyone is acting nuts and he's mostly rolling his eyes.
Yep. It's like Uncle Jeff's just looking after the craziness and letting the kids run around at his feet. It works well.
There just comes that point when, and future guests that may be seeing this, and people in chat that may be looking at this, it's when I have 2 or more women on, because I have things planned. And then when it goes off the rails, I'm like, all right, I had a lot planned. Nothing. That's why with my F at Fridays, at one point I had 54 things I wanted to talk about over the day. Didn't even open one of them. So that's when I said, you know what? Screw it. There are no topics on F at Friday because it just doesn't work.
No, fair enough.
Nah, we love it. I love the unexplained streams I do with Danny on Direct and Flux because we're all just absolutely scatterbrained ADHD out of our gourds, and it's just off the rails before it even starts. And I think we have Max Schmidt. Legal Vices just came home from work. Greets to Jeff and Aussie from Vienna. By the way, Jeff, do you know the clip of the show Boomerang from NL? Just type Boomerang, show laughter, and enjoy.
Interesting.
Okay, well, we'll try to do that at some point here. All righty. Wow. So, you've been doing it for a year. How's it working out for you? You still having fun?
Absolutely. Like, I mean, I would not wake up at 4 a.m. to stream to a bunch of reprobates, I should say, that enjoy my brand of degeneracy and laughter. I mean, I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it, people. So,
yeah, I mean, I've tried for the last year to be here every weekday at least, if possible, and then whatever mood hits me on the weekends. I will admit there's some serious burnout at times.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh God, I don't want to do this. I need rest or sleep. The trials are a bear. I love the trials, but because I'm just now recovering from Zach Anderson's trial. It's been a month, and now I'm finally, things are starting to come back together sleep-wise and energy-wise. And it takes a lot to work 9 hours a day, come home, get 2 hours sleep, stream till 4 o'clock in the morning, get another 2 hours sleep, get up and go to work and do it all over again. But I love it. And I love interacting with the people and hanging out with people. And that's why I really like doing, if it was just me, I couldn't, there's no way I could do an entire trial stream. So that's why you hear that. Yeah, you here in the time zone that splitting it up is great. That helps a bunch.
Oh yeah, because I mean the whole thing about doing the trial streams is, I mean, back when daylight savings was in place, and it was literally because you were finishing at 4, I was getting up and starting at usually around the 3 o'clock mark, and then doing those few hours into the afternoon, then going into a full day of work, coming home, spending a couple of hours with the family, going to bed at 8, waking up again in the middle of the night, that sort of thing. It's rough, but it is fun as hell. I assume it's what rock stars are like when they're on tour.
Yeah, but they have drugs.
True.
They get to do cocaine and things to help them. We don't. Well, we could, but I don't. they have resources.
Mix-a-Lot, DM me on Twitter.
Ah.
That's actually my neck of the woods, so.
Well, that was actually sort of kind of my next question. What question? My next question. It sounded like I was from New Zealand there for a minute.
Question? Yep.
What is your neck of the woods?
My neck of the woods
is your practice?
So, to start with, my neck of the woods is in a little small country town called Melbourne in the middle of Victoria in Australia. It may or may not be the state capital. We all know this. But I also have a legitimate country practice that I travel to once, maybe twice a week in the southwest of Victoria. Town itself's like 10, 15,000 people. But pretty much cover the only things that I don't really touch in terms of law, family law and criminal, and I'm making inroads into whether or not I want to start doing up some of the criminal stuff. So it's, it's really...
What prompted you to open a satellite office in a small town somewhere else?
It's the office where I did my training. So basically, I did... So I went to university in a small seaside town that's just almost on the border with South Australia. As part of that, I did a... Dear God, no, I'm not a Melbourne Rebels fan, MJ. I started working at this firm, which was basically in the middle of nowhere, but they were after a legal assistant and / receptionist sort of thing. And so I was there for a couple of years, 3 days a week sort of thing. And then I finished my law degree and said to the boss, hey, by the way, would it be okay if I did an apprenticeship under you so I can actually pass the equivalent of our bar and that sort of thing? And he's like, yeah. Okay, admittedly, initially it was yes, it was hell no. But I'm a good negotiator, let's face it. That's one of those things that you have to be a half-decent lawyer. And so yeah, we ended up doing an apprenticeship under him, which is one of those things that... So here you've got the choice. So you can work under a lawyer for 12 months, or you can go and do a 6-month program. Now, that 6-month program is full-time, you pay for it, and it's 9 to 5, so you're not working a daytime job during that.
Oh, wow.
So, at the very least, I was on the job, I was making money, and I learnt more probably in that first 3 months working in that job as a trainee lawyer than I did the entirety of my law degree. Like, I cannot stress that on the job training is so much more hands-on and more efficient for the learning process.
Yeah, and I know I've talked about it before. That in the States, well, at least in Utah, they have a 3rd-year practice rule where your 3rd year of law school, you can work under someone either at the public defender's office. I'm not sure. I can't remember if you could do anything at the prosecutor's office because I didn't care, or something at the indigent center. And I did the public defender's office, and like you said, 3. I guess it was in 1 year of that, just more than I probably learned my entire career, like as far as hands-on stuff go.
But yeah, so, and that's basically what led to it, is that after I finished up there really wasn't enough work to have 2 lawyers on in addition to the boss. So I wound up going and doing a year in another town, moved to a firm in Melbourne, spent a couple of years doing complex transactions and wound up running a department. And then I decided to strike out on my own. So I started up Glacier Legal in 2018. And then my old boss called me and said, oh, by the way, they're changing the laws here. I can't be a lawyer and do my preferred profession, because he also runs a side business, and they changed the law so that you couldn't do that as well as being a lawyer. And he decided that the side business was more lucrative. And so he said to me, do you want to buy the practice?
Oh.
Probably the 3rd most stupidest decision I've made. But yeah, and so that's basically how it happened and how I went up with a satellite office. So, but it's good. It keeps it ticking along. I get to help the locals, and It's good because it sort of grounds me and brings me back to that whole small town feel.
Yeah. Because
honestly, the rat race in Melbourne, dealing with corporate clients, dealing with people that are entitled, dealing with people that... How do I say that without sounding racist? I can't. Never mind. Move on. It's more just like... It helps me de-stress just to talk to normal people that have no ulterior motives, that have no... they're just salt of the earth people. So... But yeah, no, I quite love it.
Well, that's the Aussie Overlaw'd origin story. How he ended up so young with two separate firms of his own.
Yep.
An Australian success story.
Yeah, and that's how you learned that I started getting white hairs in my beard at such a young age.
Well, now you listening to your show in the mornings as I'm wont to do. Hey Jess, hey Valhalla, hi guys. You went on a bit of a rant yesterday about the collapse of the Australian housing market and construction market.
Yeah, because since then we've lost another construction company as well. There was another one that...
Yeah, I saw that today.
Yeah, so that's 5 now in the last month. So the Australian housing market itself, I think vacant properties is at less than 1%. A whole heap of them are obviously being bought up by overseas investors, and I'm going to start ranting again, and we're not...
Well, there's a lot of open land where I would imagine homes can be built.
Oh, there's a whole heap of open land. But people are entitled. They don't want to live in the centre of Australia. They don't. Admittedly, there's a great swath of land there where you can't build because it's literally just red sand. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to get a foundation down there. People want to live on the coast. They don't want to live in amongst the farming land. They don't want to live in amongst the... It honestly is really frustrating. If they took half of the infrastructure that they have in the middle of the major cities, plonked it down in the middle of Victoria, in the middle of New South Wales, in the middle of Western Australia, wherever, that wasn't near the coast, near the ocean, they would still force people to move into those areas and we would be able to develop. And the fact that the Labor government is now looking to bring in, and I know this sounds small in comparison to the issues with, I think, Title 42 or whatever it is ending, but they're aiming to bring in another 700,000 migrants over the next 6 to 12 months. We're already struggling. Nationwide, there were like 31,000 rental properties available for renters. So
nationwide,
yeah, because because the property's being bought up by overseas individuals that are then renting them out as Airbnbs, or they're leaving them vacant so that they can hopefully get appreciating assets or whatever else. And it's just makes me very
nationwide. There's 31,000 houses available to rent.
Yes, I mean, admittedly, I haven't checked it since last weekend, but yes. Isn't that insane?
That's insane.
Yeah.
There's probably 31,000 houses available for rental in Salt Lake City. So, that's probably a ridiculous exaggeration, but I mean, there's got to be at least 1,000 or 2,000. And come on.
There you go.
Wow.
Burberry's has got it. You can't go to an auction without being outbid by Chinese overseas employers. And the main reason for that is it's one of the few reasons that they can have money leave China is for property investment overseas. It's something that for a little while there I was having to deal with property developers using overseas backers and that sort of thing. And it's like, I mean, the house that I was renting a little while ago, we had the exact same problem. It was owned by an overseas national. The bug hit and Victoria had a moratorium on evictions. Okay? I don't know what the hell happened between this individual and their creditors or their investment partners or whatever else, but at some point during the 2020-2021 period, they sold the house without telling anybody. It changed hands overseas.
Oh.
So as soon as on the day that the moratorium ended, we got a notice of eviction, saying, "Oh, by the way, the property was sold 3 months ago. You have 60 days to find somewhere else to live."
Wow.
I was ropeable.
I would imagine that would. It's not something you wanted to be thinking about right then.
Hell no. And like the agent themselves wasn't happy, but I mean, you know, what could they do? They were under the instructions from the owners, and it was the fact that the property itself, like ownership of the property, had taken place. Like the money had changed hands overseas or whatever, so it's not like the Australian government was getting any sort of cut out of it. And it was just that a title transfer was done, and they're just like, yeah, look, we haven't been able to toss you out because the government said we couldn't. But yeah, now you need to get out because the new owner wants to move in from overseas. And I'm just like,
if they could, they'd all be tossers, wouldn't they?
Yeah, basically.
Porcelain Thunder said there are over 15,000 vacant properties in Baltimore alone.
Yep.
Dang.
Actually, tell you what, I haven't actually had a look recently. Give me a second.
Well, while you do that, we'll read the super chats that have backed up here. Wolfram says, wait, the emus actually allow humans to live there?
Oh, yeah. They may have won the battle, but we won the war. They are now domesticated, and we ride those bastards.
I've never had emu. I've had ostrich, the other red meat. And that was the weirdest thing when I found out ostriches are red meat. That was kind of wild.
Oh, my apologies. As of last weekend, there was 47,211 properties.
So they've thrown some people out on their ears since last week.
Yeah, well, I'm willing to bet that that's probably because of the way that housing market, the mortgage rate increase and that sort of thing. I'd say they've probably had to put a whole bunch of them either on the market or, yeah, but still not great.
Flux says everyone needs to get gold and silver ASAP. The U.S. digital currency is happening really fast. I say by the end of the year, the USD will be gone. Well, that's a little bit quick. I hope it's not gone because I have some in banks.
Look, that is quick, but at the same time, I'm urging everyone here in Australia to pull some money out and have it under their mattress. One of the major banks here, the ANZ, is refusing to engage in face-to-face transactions at certain branches. They're closing down branches across the country, and they're refusing to allow people to take money out in cash. So,
wow. Yeah. Ostrich isn't a bird. How is it red meat? I don't know. I didn't make them. They are red meat though. Yeah, they. And I there was one. Where was that restaurant? They had the scrambled ostrich egg. It was like $15-20 for like a gigantic scrambled egg.
Wow.
They sell ostrich burgers at a local restaurant. Not one Tim's. It's great. It's like a giant red meat chicken. So we were talking about sounding like a New Zealander a bit ago. Mm-hmm. The infamous New Zealand deck sealant commercial.
Yep.
That's a favorite of mine. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but see, I as someone from Utah, I sympathize with languages that switch vowels around. We flip vowels in Utah quite a bit. First, if we bother to pronounce them, like ignorant in Utah is just spelled IGNRNT, ignorant. You're just ignorant. But we have Spanish fork, which it says Spanish fork on paper, but people there's Spanish fark. We flip our O's and A's. Like if you're gonna say you were born in a barn, you were born in a barn. We flip A's and I just want to punch people on the head that say milk and eggs and pen instead of pin. But anyway, yeah, we flip our vowels. So I don't know if anybody here, how many people do we have that are going to leave as soon as I start this commercial? 352 concurrent viewers. Welcome 352 concurrent viewers, but only 239 likes. That's 130 if you haven't, 140 if you haven't done your job. Smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. We need the subscribers. I'm still kind of on that tail edge of I went through what you went through a while ago. 6 weeks stagnant.
Going
6 weeks stagnant. Oh, it was terrible. And then I got a few, and we're stagnant again. But we'll keep plugging along. So smash the like button and make sure you go over to Aussie Overlaw'd. I'm sure at least one or two of you 351 haven't subscribed to him. So everybody that hasn't, go over to Aussie Overlaw'd's channel, subscribe, like everything he's done, watch him. Hilarity will ensue.
Yep.
Especially once he decides to move his Kinky Corner back to YouTube.
Look, I would love to, but unfortunately a few assholes ruined it for everybody.
Yeah.
So
Assholes. So, on the subject of flipping vowels and other things, this is a particular decking advertisement from New Zealand, one of my faves.
If you're like me, you find it very hard to keep your dick dry. I left my dick unprotected and it was warped out of shape in no time. I could barely recognize my own dick. Imagine that. Then I discovered Schaefers New Zealand style dick sealant, the best way to take care of your dick in 3 easy steps. First, wash your dick with soap and water. Then wait for your dick to dry. Once your dick is clean and dry, paint your dick with Schaefers dick sealant. I used to be too embarrassed to invite people over to see my dick. But now, my dick's the talk of the town. I even have pictures of my dick. Check out that dick. I'm going to send this to my secretary. Barbara always loves to receive my dick pics. After all, summertime is all about spending time on your dick. I'll often have 20 to 30 people on my dick at once. That can really wear your dick out, causing dick splinters and discoloration. But with Schaefers dick sealant, my dick stays a nice golden brown colour. Who wouldn't want a golden dick? I used to never let children anywhere near my dick. My dick was too dangerous for cods to play on. But it seems like every cod in the neighbourhood's been on my dick this summer, and they've all had a good time. My dick's over 70 years old, but it looks brand new. That's part of the reason all my neighbours are jealous of my dick. Isn't that right, Jum?
Yes, you've got a nice dick, okay?
His wife is always on my dick, begging me to know the secret of my perfect dick. If you like Schaefers dick sealant, check out Schaefers New Zealand style cock. I had a huge hole in my dick, but I fixed it by jamming some cock in. You'd be surprised how many things you can fix by jamming cock into them. Have an extra large hole in your dick? Try Schaefers African style cock. Just go to your local home improvement store and ask for the big black cock. Schaefers New Zealand style dick sealant. Don't put it on your penis.
So there you go. Because I am just that way. That's the first thing that came to my mind when I was joked about suddenly sounding New Zealandish for one word that I said. My brain rattled all the way down.
I'll share an iconic milk ad with you.
Oh, an iconic milk ad.
Yep.
Okay.
A bottle of milk, thanks.
Low fat, no fat, full cream, high calcium, high protein soy, light skim, omega-3, high calcium with vitamin D and folate or extra dollop.
I just want milk that tastes like real milk.
This tastes like full cream milk and only 2% fat.
Paul's smarter white milk. Smart choice.
Okay.
I was trying to find the one where it's a bunch of blokes bitching and moaning about how they have to go out to the back shed and do chores. But because it's an Aussie backyard, all 4 of the sheds are connected and all the doors and everything open up and it's like a pool room.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Brilliant. I love that one. Oh, God.
Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program. Emu says, soon.
Bring it. I'm prepared this time.
Thank you so much for that super chat. That was great. Rose says, I'm so slow. What the hell? And of course, we have the Dickens cider. Yeah. All right.
Oh, God. And that reminds me. Did you see the time that No, it was on one of your fuck it Friday. No, it wasn't. I apologized to Rob on one of your fuck it Fridays. I got him a good one because I asked him whether or not he'd heard about the murder case of Andy Feltersnatch. It was a love triangle with Dick and Cider.
Okay.
Got him a brilliant one because apparently he actually started writing it down before he realised.
Oh no. Wow. Yes, there are 3 of those deck ads, and while we're talking about decks, you want to go get your law cards. Law cards are happening. I'm signing about 40 of them this weekend to send on back. So that if you're one of the lucky ones that gets a certificate in your purchased law cards, that for me, you will get a special signed Legal Vices card. Who doesn't want that? It's a great little thing. It's kind of a gag gift, but they're real. And rumor has it I'll be getting my very own deck of Maritime Monday cards and perhaps other things. But you want to go to getlawcards.com/vices. It doesn't give you cough. Anyway, go to getlawcards.com/vices. You don't get a discount. It's not a discount code. It's just it lets the producer Farmhand Tom know that you came for me. Wow, phrasing. Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, go to lawcards.com/vices and see if it's your thing. If it is, pick up a deck. And Aussie does some too. All right, he'll tell you all about it on his stream.
This is true. I at some point the ones are going to show up for me to sign. At some point.
Yeah, I just got mine, so that's what I'm going to be doing over the weekend is signing mine. But we do have one actual real news story that's kind of breaking news. We've got Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, he made his debut on Twitter. Was it yesterday, day before, something like that?
Yesterday.
And datelines and time zones really ruin everything for me. But the Elon Musk is saying, "Oh no, we haven't signed any kind of deal with him."
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the lawyer in me says signed. I would imagine, literally, Elon Musk could drop $100 million in Tucker's lap and not even care.
He could clear out the spare change in his wallet, and it would convince someone like Tucker Carlson to take his show to the channel, to the platform. Yeah. I wholeheartedly think that was very deliberately written, same as you.
Oh yeah, but now, all right, we've had a blackout on Doggo Cam. Of course we have. We'll keep you posted on that while I scrounge around that. Maybe the end of Dog Cam. Thank you, firmware update. But Tucker Carlson has been banned. He's been banned. Where has he been banned from?
Tell me. Where has he been banned from?
I've been out of the news. He's been banned from here. This Occupy Democrats has released a tweet saying, breaking, Tucker Carlson is hit with bad news as Twitter competitor Tribal announces that they just permanently banned Carlson from their growing social media app, declaring that Tribal has decided to permanently ban Tucker Carlson from our network because Mr. Carlson is a proven liar, racist, and insurrectionist who spreads Russian propaganda that threatens our democracy. Banning him is necessary to protect our users. Please retweet and heart if you support Tribal's decision to ban Tucker Carlson and think that Elon Musk and Twitter need to take notes. Musk just suspended Tribal's Twitter account in a desperate attempt to stop Tribal's growth, but he hasn't yet banned this link to get Tribal's new app. What I will say is Tucker Carlson's response was probably the same of mine. The fuck is Tribal?
I would have cared more if he'd been banned off Mastodon, let alone Tribal. Who the fuck are they kidding?
What is Tribal? Have you ever heard of Tribal?
Yeah, it's one of those, it's one of the ones that you run to if you're banned from all the other platforms.
I've never heard of Tribal. Exactly.
It's not something it's literally the dollar store, bottom of the barrel soda that you get when everything else is sold out. You don't go there on purpose. You don't go there by choice. You go there because you're relegated to it, or you go there because you have nowhere else to go.
I've never heard of it. So yeah, I'm sure he's not really caring too much.
No, see, that's just it, Gimva. I would care more if he'd been banned from Spoutable than I would about Tribal.
I just never heard of it, and I'm like, why would he be crushed about being blocked from some liberal, uber liberal thing? I don't get it.
Honestly, I wish I had an answer for you. I really do.
I'm glad you don't.
It's literally, it's something that no one cares about, no one asked for, but if someone said it in chat, it's literally clout goblins are trying to raise awareness for their platform. They're jumping on it specifically because, oh, he's,
damn it, I fell into their trap.
Exactly.
I talked about them.
Basically, that's exactly what it is. So.
Sorry, everyone. I fell right into their dastardly liberal trap.
More to the point, they're still using Twitter to promote it too, which is hilarious.
Well, and then they're bitching about Twitter blocking them so they can't use it.
Yep. And it's not as if Twitter specifically said, oh, hey, by the way, we're going to block accounts that do nothing but promote other apps or content on other platforms and all that sort of stuff. So...
yeah.
Bite me, Val.
I have to agree with you. Silent PS. I still don't know, and I still don't care either. Yeah. So I'm sure. Well, I guess because he's probably a media savvy guy. I mean, if you know about it, Tucker Carlson probably knows about it. So I'm sure he's, rather than going who, he went ooh.
Yeah, he probably went. So I cannot think of a more appropriate point for Jeremy Clarkson to pop up on screen and go, oh no. Anyway.
Or John Cleese, and now for something completely different.
Exactly. There you go.
So, yeah, it would be funny if Elon just decided to buy them. Did some sort of hostile takeover or something. Just like bought them. Sure wouldn't cost him what he paid for Twitter.
Oh, hell no. That'd be the lint in the back of his dryer, let alone what he's paid Tucker.
Legal Vice's Aussie Overlaw'd. Tucker Carlson doesn't need a big contract from Twitter, and Fox's money doesn't matter to him. He's got family wealth from gold, oil, and Swanson Foods.
Fair.
Yeah. But more money. More money is good. Everybody wants more money. Don't know people that want less money. Yeah, we don't know what it is. Aussie has heard rumors of it.
Don't bother looking it up, people, because all you're going to do is feed into what they want. That is purely the only reason they've done this, is so they can get their name out there and latch onto the current news cycle and say, oh, Tucker's lost himself off of Fox News. He's going over to Twitter. We're banning him because we don't want him. People, he would probably ban you.
Oh, and speaking of being banned, it's our midstream grift position here. We've got 358 of you and 284 of you, some more of you, where the numbers are going up. Make sure. Well, see here. Wait. We got a. Is that a super chat? Yes, that is from 4 minutes ago that I missed. I apologize. Let me scroll up here and get it. Nick Campbell, thank you so much for the super chat. Said Elon said he didn't sign Tucker. Exactly. He said his words were there is no written agreement with them.
Yes, and notice written agreement. That doesn't mean that there wasn't a terms sheet. That doesn't mean that there wasn't some sort of negotiation. There is nothing where both parties have put pen to paper.
Yeah, and
that doesn't mean shit.
It could have been a verbal agreement. It could have been like an oral agreement. I thought his wording was that was the first thing that I noticed. I'm like, why would you say there's no written agreement?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you just say there's no agreement? Or we haven't, he's not part of us. He doesn't work for us. There
hasn't been any contact between us and Tucker.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yep. Very specifically said there is no written agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So, the stream was sponsored by Kimchi. Okay. I love trying to figure out what Chad is talking about. Simpsons Treehouse of Horror sang about Donut Boy. Just don't look. Just don't look. Oh, dear. Well, speaking of people that are banning themselves, I guess, we had the big news that the Parkland shooter cruise judge that really, really hated the defense, was constantly castigating them. Ooh, big word of the day, castigate. It was constantly castigating them and yelling at them and treating them poorly.
She can castigate me any day.
There you go. got no segue back into that story. She was supposed to, we'll just pretend it didn't happen. She got off when the verdict was announced, finding him guilty. You may recall that she got off the stand, went down and hugged the prosecution team in open court, which even pro-prosecution people found to be really, really weird.
Oh, it wasn't weird. It was wrong.
It was inappropriate. Yeah.
Yeah. Inappropriate is the least of the words you could use for that. Her getting down off the stand in the robe. Like, she didn't even bother to go into chambers, change, or anything like that. She went straight from the bench to hugging the prosecutor and, like, talking to the families and that sort of thing. That, I called at the time that was going to get her into ethical trouble. That was always going to be an issue. But I mean, I saw this news article. I get that she's decided that she's resigning, that sort of thing. I mean, the chief administrative judge that she reports to says that she approached him like a year ago about resigning.
Mm-hmm.
So this has obviously been in the works for a while.
Yes,
but maybe I don't know. Maybe the backlash is just enough that she had enough.
Tip the scale, yeah. The Florida judge who gained national profile while presiding over the Parkland shooting trial announced Wednesday that she is resigning June 30th to pursue unspecified career opportunities. Quote, to spend more time with her family. Because don't you bring my kids into this, is apparently what she said at one point during the trial. Circuit Judge Elizabeth Scherer rose in prominence when she oversaw the televised penalty trial of Nicholas Cruz. He received, they didn't find him guilty. Sorry, they sentenced him to forever and ever in jail. He received a life sentence last year after a divided jury was unable to agree on the death penalty for the 2018 mass killing of 14 students and 3 staff members at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. It's been a privilege to serve the people of the state of Florida for over 10 years. Not a long time for a judge. Scherer wrote in her brief resignation letter to Governor DeSantis, the resignation was first reported by Court TV. Scherer, a 46-year-old, she looks pretty damn good for 46, former prosecutor, was appointed to the bench in 2012. Broward County computerized system randomly assigned her Cruz's case shortly after the shooting. It was her first murder trial. Her handling of the case drew frequent praise from the parents and spouses of the victims, who said she treated them with professionalism and kindness, but her clashes with Cruz's attorneys and others sometimes drew criticism from legal observers. Before the trial, she criticized 2 reporters from the Sun Sentinel newspaper for publishing a sealed Cruz. Anyway, continue. I just had a random thought. Don't get sidetracked. For publishing a sealed Cruz educational record that they obtained legally. She threatened to tell the paper what it could and couldn't print, but never did. Legal experts say such a move would have been unconstitutional. Yeah. That's literally what the First Amendment of the Constitution is designed to prevent. The government from telling you what you can't do in print. Scherer also had frequent heated arguments with Cruz's lead public defender, Melissa McNeil. Those boiled over for the first time when McNeil and her team suddenly rested their case after calling only a small fraction of their expected witnesses. Scherer called it the most uncalled for, unprofessional way to try a case, though the defense has no obligation to call all of its witnesses or announce its plans in advance. Exactly. And that's absolutely correct. McNeil countered angrily, "You are insulting me on the record in front of my client," before Scherer told her to stop, then laid into her. "You've been insulting me the entire trial," Scherer barked at McNeil, "arguing with me, storming out, coming late intentionally. If you don't like my rulings, so quite frankly, this has been long overdue, so please be seated." The two clashed again during Cruz's sentencing hearing in November over the verbal attacks some victims' family members made against the defense team. Yeah, this is where the family got brought into it. During their courtroom statements, Scherer refused to curtail the statements and ejected one of McNeil's assistants after he complained. After sentencing Cruz 24 to life without parole as required, Scherer left the bench and hugged members of the prosecution and victims' families. That action led to the Florida Supreme Court last month to remove her from overseeing post-conviction motions of another defendant, Randy Tundador, who was sentenced to death for murder in the 2019 killing of his landlord. One of the prosecutors in that case had also been on the Cruz team. And during a hearing on the Tundador case a few days after the Cruz sentencing, Scherer asked the prosecutor how he was holding up. Jesus, I missed that part. Yeah, so she's gone. You just one stupid thing, one dumb thing, and you are toast.
Slight jag to the left on that as well. How do you feel about DeSantis and the them changing it to remove the unanimous requirement for death penalty after that.
Wow. See, I'm a supporter of the death penalty. I don't think we use it nearly enough. I think a lot more people have lost the right to breathe my oxygen than people would imagine. But it's been demonstrated to be applied very, very inconsistently and very, very unfairly. And in many cases, incorrectly. So that's why I support it, but I'm against it being implemented the way it is. And so, I mean, a unanimous vote of death required to actually put someone to death, I think, is at least a nominal safeguard to preventing those sorts of things from happening. But there are some states that'll do 10 out of 12.
Yep.
But changing it to 8 of 12, like reducing it by 1/3, where you only need a super majority of 2/3 of the jurors to put someone to death. I mean, in other states, you can block it with just one dissatisfied person, one person who doesn't support the death penalty, one person who doesn't seem to want to kill this person. They can stop the death sentence. But 8 to 12, I mean, you totally remove that safeguard. I think it's a bad thing. Bad.
It does seem like it's a slight overreach in the instance. I agree with you that I do think there are certain instances where, as you said, certain people do lose the right to continue breathing. But we've still got to weigh that up against the unfortunate instances where certain individuals have been found to be not guilty.
If I recall, it's kind of limited to cases involving children. I think Steve will be on next week on the 19th to give us all the details about what it entails. But still, 8 out of 12. It's a little too iffy. I know if I got 12 random people together in a room, probably at least 8 of them would hate me. Maybe not everybody, but I'm pretty sure like 2/3 of them would probably not like me. Unless it's my
I would say that if you put 12 people in a room, you gave someone an opportunity to spend, maybe even up to 2 weeks, like saying all the worst possible things about you, then there's a good chance that at the end of that, 8 people are going to hate your guts. Particularly if you're in a situation where, you've caused the death of someone. So, yeah, I can see that.
I just don't like making it 8 out of 12. And I can't wait to have Steve on to talk more about it so I can learn more about it and I can argue with him about it. Well, I mean, I probably won't argue with him about the 8 to 12 thing, but he is adamantly opposed to death penalty in any circumstances. And for now, he's writing a new book about it, apparently. Death Penalty Debates, or it's called, or something like that. Oh, how could anyone hate me? Oh, lots of people do. But I'm looking forward to discussing it with him. Man, Australia doesn't have the death penalty, correct?
Not since the 80s, no. I think the last person was... Oh, hang on. Let me actually just double check this. I think it was 86 or 87. Apologies for the mechanical keyboard, people. Keeps me awake. Oh, my apologies. 67. Ronald Ryan Breadcrumb. Last man hung in Australia on 3rd of February 67. He and his accomplice Peter Walker escaped from Pentridge Prison. The hanging itself was met with public protest. So yeah, it's been quite a while.
Wow. I don't mind.
Don't get me wrong. There are certain individuals that I do believe deserve it. Oh God, what the hell was his name? Gargasoulis, for example, the guy that drove down the sidewalk in Melbourne here, took out a bunch of kids and people as well. I may or may not have a personal connection to that case, so I'm just like, I think he should have fried, frankly. But anyway, moving on.
Can't they just send them to the Thunderdome? like
oh, wouldn't that be nice?
Hey, if Tina Turner's in the cage with me, I'd probably murder someone to be locked up in the cage with her.
Was Malad executed? No, he was because hang on, what happened with Malad? Because he was arrested in '96.
I've seen ghost hunts for the last man executed in Australia, says Renee Collins. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. The one of, it may have been the very first show Ozzy and I did together was with Ozzy and Meme Copy, and we did a show on Chopper Reed. It's way back in the deep dark early days of my channel. Chopper's the man.
Wasn't that a while ago? Yeah, no, I remember that.
I think that may have been. It was either the first or very, very close to the first time you were ever on the show.
Because that was when we split it in half, didn't we? We did part of it on Chopper Reed and the other part on Ed Kelly.
On Ed Kelly, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, go back into the stacks, Max Schmidt. It's early on in the Legal Vices channel. Great show. Love Chopper. Love Chopper forever. Good man. Did the Lord's work. He did the things that we can't do.
I very much enjoyed watching. So 60 Minutes did when he was still alive, they did a interview with him. It wasn't long before he passed away. And he actually admitted to an extra couple of killings that involved, like, people that deserved it. Let's leave it that way. And he had no compunction about it whatsoever. He when he was in prison, he just happened to be the first guy that came across one of the guys that deserved it. So he, did what he had to and that sort of thing. Like I said, certain individuals get what they deserve. So,
well, and again, we've played it a bunch of times here on the channel way back in the day, but my understanding is that when this public service announcement played, after that, domestic violence cases dropped significantly for a while.
Yes. Yep.
Because Chopper is just a scary mother. God, I wonder if I can bring up before we show this. God, when he did like one of the Good Morning Australia things where he talked about all of his injuries.
Oh yeah, okay. That'll probably be on. It's either going to be the morning show or Sunrise.
Hang on a second. Well, he did it on the 60 Minutes interview too.
Oh yeah, but you don't want to play the 60 Minutes.
Yeah, no, they didn't like that last time I did it.
No.
Let's see. I'm trying to find this here.
So that's when he was on Sunrise. That's when he was.
This is actually pretty wild. Oh hell! Because I mean, here we go. Right. Let me bring this up. This is Chopper Reed in his younger days, describing some of the injuries he sustained throughout his life.
There it is. Yep.
Tattoos are only part of the mutilation of Chopper's body.
I got stabbed with a 8.5-inch butcher's knife here.
What for?
Oh, well, all sorts of things. Twice there. Ice pick straight through the heart there. Stanley knife across there. Stanley knife across there. Stanley knife. Stanley knife. Stanley knife here. Bullet hole here. Ice pick here. Stanley knife.
He's even tried to remove.
It's scary to think the Stanley knives were the weapons of choice too.
The blowtorch was also his preferred instrument of torture.
It's reasonably easy. He just takes a flame, a foot, take the shoe off, give it a tickle. Want me to show you?
I'd prefer if you explained it.
Yeah, he mutilated people. He torched people's toes that deserved to have their toes torched. But yeah, and he also he was in one of the probably the roughest penitentiary in Australia.
Pentridge.
And he wanted to. He he thought some people were going to jump him, and so he wanted to get to the medical unit. They wouldn't let him go to the medical unit, so he had someone cut both of his ears off. Yeah.
Yep.
Just slice his own ears off. And then he was going to start a prison riot and take over the prison. And it was so crazy that his own gang tried to kill him to prevent him from. His plan was to wait till everybody went to sleep and then kill them slowly in their sleeps. But anyway, he did a public service announcement, which apparently led to the reduction of violent crimes against women and children in Australia, which was this commercial here.
My name's Mark Brandon Chopperee. A lot of people think I'm a tough guy. I'm not a tough guy, but I've broken a lot of men that thought they were tough guys. The lowest thing in jail is a woman basher and a rapist. If you bashed a woman, well, you're a weak, gutless individual. If you come to fucking jail for bashing a woman or raping a woman, you will get fucking dealt with. You will fucking suffer. We will break your fucking neck, you low, gutless, weak fucking mice. Be afraid. Because if you come to jail, you're going to have every bloody reason to be afraid.
That was a successful advertising campaign.
Yes, it was.
I love that guy. I love that PSA. That's a. Yep, Jonathan says, I guarantee you that worked. That's awesome. Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes. And say goodbye to monetization. It happens every time I play this, but it's worth it.
Here we go.
Now, you'll explain it before we go.
Okay, so this is part of the Ronnie Johns hour. Basically, he used to do an impersonation of Chopper. Basically, every week he would come out with something. So you had Chopper reading books to kids. You had Chopper going through airport security, which was always good.
The art auction was one of my favorite. This was my favorite, and the art auction was my second favorite.
This one in particular is how people in Australia need to harden the fuck up. But this is always awesome.
The fuck Chopper here. Now, one thing I've noticed all across Australia is that people are having a whinge, having a sook, or having a fucking cry about it. If the Anzacs were around today, I reckon they'd be fucking spewing. Australia needs to harden the fuck up. Anthony. This is Anthony. He owns a big, shiny, fancy fucking four-wheel drive, but he doesn't know how to change a tyre. Harden the fuck up, Anthony. This is Peter, and he drinks soy milk in his coffee. Oh, look at me. I'm lactose intolerant. Why don't you try a mochaccino of harden the fuck up, Peter? This is Teresa, and her dog has a psychiatrist. How about this, Teresa? Dr. Chopper prescribes that you harden the fuck up.
Oh, stop it, stop it. You just gonna nuke us. Stop it.
His name
Stop
is
the video.
Hayden.
Oh, sorry, I thought you...
We've got the warning. We've got the warning from YouTube. Get rid of that video. Get it out of here. Go away. Watch that on your own time, people. We've got the you're gonna get nuked by us if you continue to stream that video warning for.
Well, it's over now. So
yeah, that's really it gets funnier as it goes along. So go check it out.
It's good. It's good. There's a whole series of them, people, and it's where my cup of concrete comes from. So
Dr. D Snut says YouTube needs to harden the fuck up. There you go. JSDs. It's a D's thing. Exactly. We go watch it. The Chopper Reed comedy things are hilarious. The art one is a close second favorite to that. Wow. Yeah, YouTube didn't like that. What happens when like an incoming strike is imminent? If you're watching the YouTube studio, you get a big giant yellow triangle with an exclamation mark in it, and in big yellow letters it says warning. And then to the side says, heads up, we've detected copyrighted audio and video in your stream. Your stream may be temporarily blocked. And that's, when
I should probably actually have YouTube
seconds.
Studios open.
Yes, I always do for that very reason. That is exactly why it's open. I learned about that and was very, very happy. But it also does mean that they're going to claim it, and I'm not going to see a penny from this stream. So more super chats, or save them tomorrow for the fucking Friday. That's when you really want to bring your shekels, your dollars, your dineros, your whatever currency they use in Australia. Just kidding. Dollars. The comedian Chopper Reed was great to watch too. Harden the F up, Australia. Yeah, we tried, but YouTube wouldn't let us harden the F up. Anywho, wow. As long as we're talking about things Australian, are we far enough into this? We're only an hour and 25. Hell, we've already been we're de facto demonetized for this stream. Anyway, or super chat. We're gonna go fully off the rails, people. If you are sensitive to bad words and bad situations, now's your time to bail, because we're going full on Hayden Aussie Overlaw'd, degenerate Kinky Corner absurdity from here on out.
You heard it, people. You heard it. He's giving me he's giving me permission.
Strap yourself in. Strap yourself on. Get ready, because here it comes.
Phrasing.
All right.
All right, you smunts. Let's get into it.
All right. By a show of hands in chat, how many of you people are familiar with one of my favorite comedians, Miriam Margolyes? She's sort of a British Australian. She lives in Australia. She's English but lives in Australia now.
You may recognize her as Professor Sprout from the Harry Potter films.
She was Professor Sprout from Harry Potter. She was also in James and the Giant Peach.
Mm-hmm.
But she reminds me, as we were talking earlier today, Hayden and I were, and I was mentioning that Eric Bana played Chopper Reed in a movie called Chopper.
Yes. Which is not a comedy.
No. Miriam Margolyes is one of the funniest people I know. She really reminds me so much of my mother. No filter whatsoever, except my mother wasn't a lesbian. Miriam Margolyes is a lesbian, and she's happy to talk about it every chance she gets, no matter how inappropriate it is to bring the subject up. But she's great. Oh yeah, greedy bloke. She's based, speaks her mind. Literally, she just reminds me so much of my mother. God rest her soul. They would be best friends if they ever met. I'm never
going to forget the interview that she did after the Chamber of Secrets, and she's standing there going, I don't know how I got cast in this film. I hate children.
We're going to see if we're going to get nuked for showing some Graham Norton here. I like to think the British are a little more tolerant of things. But just to let you know who she is when she's not playing Professor Sprout or whoever the hell she played in James and the Giant Peach. Oh, honest to God, the first time I ever saw her talk on a talk show, I thought, oh my God, that's my mom. I mean, you never had any question where you stood with my mother. She would just let you know and give exactly zero fucks about what you think about her opinion. But to understand where we're going with this, we've got to show a little bit of background of Miriam Margolyes. She was in Romeo and Juliet. Wow, that would be interesting. Where are we at here? There we go. This is her on Graham Norton telling a particular. This may have been one of the earliest interviews I ever saw of her. Please let me get through it.
Stage in the West End, and obviously people come to you and you get confident, you get nervous. But do you get nervous when your family come because this
isn't it?
They don't.
And he came out.
Oh yes, we go. Okay,
and
hang on.
Collect all.
We have to go back to the beginning of the story
Olivier.
here.
Oh,
this is her Laurence Olivier story. We'll listen to her Laurence Olivier story first, and then we'll upgrade the sauciness. This is her Laurence Olivier story, who, if you don't know, is one of the greatest Shakespearean actors ever to live on planet Earth, and he also played Zeus in the really ancient. What the hell was that? The Titans movie.
Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans. Yeah. He played Zeus, but yes.
You don't sugarcoat things. Do you get starstruck when you meet people?
I do sometimes. I remember when I was young, I met Laurence Olivier.
Wow.
That was I used to collect autographs at the stage door, and he came out, and I remember so distinctly that I started to cream in my knickers. I could feel it. I could actually,
Matthew Perry's face.
Yeah, Matthew Perry just doesn't.
you know what I mean? I know exactly what you mean.
Wherever we thought that story was going.
I honestly don't think I've ever been more uncomfortable. I think that's the worst moment of my life.
From a man that can't remember filming certain seasons of Friends, that's saying something.
Well, that's a lovely story, Miriam. Thank you for sharing. I think that's in the compilation. That's great.
But I think that's a tribute.
No, it's a no greater compliment, Miriam. I think we should all get fans out now.
Yeah,
T-Chatter, that's the story that's coming up next. The soldier coming home story. This was the one I was thinking when I thought this was probably one of the earliest Miriam Margolyes things I've ever seen.
See, now I'm just worried that you typed in Miriam Cummings story, and that's how you end up with the Laurence Olivier story.
Close. You're This is an old story from World War II era.
I'm nervous of asking.
Look how young Graham Norton
please
is.
don't be.
Okay.
Because I will answer.
I know that.
And see, my one of my absolute, I mean, she comes a close, maybe third or fourth in my all-time favorite comedians, but Jimmy Carr to her left is, I mean, a lot of people hate Jimmy Carr because he dodged a lot of taxes, but I think he's just absolutely hilarious. He's one of the shock comedians that just he tries to offend people. He tries to say horrifically terrible, inappropriate things. He makes Louis C.K. sort of sound like a Sunday school teacher. He's brutal, and even he was taken aback by her. And if you can shock Jimmy Carr,
That's what makes me nervous. Okay, what is the story about you meeting an American man in Cambridge?
When I was a student.
Yes.
Yeah. That was before I was a lesbian. I was just, I was sorting myself out.
Yes.
And, as you do at university. And I was on my bike because we cycled.
Over the cobbles, I would imagine.
On a bike and,
oh wow, that didn't take long. We got another one. I wonder if it was for the last one or for this one, or if it was still like hanging. Let's continue the story. She's on her bike. If we disappear for about 2 minutes, hang tight. We'll come back.
We'll just get to enjoy the story.
At the traffic lights, and I looked to the left or the right, whatever it was, and there was a car, an open car with an American soldier inside, and something crazy took hold of me then. You know that feeling.
I've got it right now.
And I said, would you like to follow me to my college and I'll suck you off?
And Tushy's out.
You knew you recognized it from somewhere.
Exactly.
Oh yes, it's this stream they don't like. They've detected more copyright video, but yeah. Well, as I said, this was before she was a lesbian. It took them a while. It took her a while to sort herself out. Yeah, this isn't the end of the story, so we've got to pause it here for a minute. And again, if we do disappear, we'll be back. But anyway, this is Miriam Margolyes. So in case we can't finish this video, that gives you a little bit of a background on who she is. As you can clearly see, she has no filter. She is maybe it would help if we hid the video. She has no filter. She's doesn't know the meaning of political correctness.
She's the way people are supposed to be these days, though.
Exactly.
It's the whole point of why bother getting offended by things, okay? Words can't hurt you for the most part. I mean, we sentence you to death may hurt you down the track.
Yes.
But seriously, what is the point of getting offended by things? Like, harden the fuck up. I honestly, I reckon I would adore the opportunity to have a conversation with her. I really would.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she is absolutely amazingly hilarious. Yeah, the Doggo Cam seems to be gone for the day. It's not recognizing the video port at this point, so whatever. We'll do free Doggo Cam on fucking Friday because, you know, anyway. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's someone being funny. It's someone being themselves. It's great.
I'm just annoyed that Jimmy Carr stole my Ethiopian AIDS joke.
Yes, we're not. We don't want to get blocked. Okay, let's see if we can get to the last minute of this story. Our little warning is gone, so here we go.
I was just
Share
I was
it.
still in knee pants at the time.
Oh, wait, here we go. Hang on.
Go ahead. Finish that story.
I think we know what happened.
The really interesting thing was that he afterwards, and I should explain, I thought I was being a good girl because a bad girl would have had intercourse.
With a random stranger from the street. For sure.
Well, I still think it was the right thing to do.
I'm sure he felt the same way.
Okay, we got another warning. We're not going to get through the end of this video. But that's Miriam Margolyes. So where are we going with all of this? As Hayden and I were talking about things we could possibly discuss today, because neither one of us had actually looked at the news or bothered to think of anything, because we don't, you know, there's freewheeling conversations. I stumbled across a story. Where's the text that I sent you? I'll just read you what I said to what I sent to Hayden earlier today. Okay. If he doesn't mind, I'm going to read the preview, his text before this. To be perfectly honest, I haven't looked up the news today. I skipped my show and was running around madly with work. I'll have a look and see if I can bring anything funny in. A couple of hours later, I texted him, well, I think I found a story. How about Netflix show on transgender Aboriginals on the Tiwi Islands? And he responded, well, hot dog, looks like we have a wiener. So
yes, people, I am just that campy and whatever else you call it. Behind the scenes, I don't change. Okay, there's no point. What you see is what you get.
So there is a Netflix series that Miriam Margolyes is apparently involved in, where they talk about transgender Aboriginals in the Tiwi Islands. Where are the Tiwi Islands? I didn't even bother to look on a map. Okay, it's one of those. They're like, if you don't live on the Tiwi Islands, you don't know where they are.
Honestly, watching that video, I wasn't actually sure if it was a legit documentary or if it was like a spoof one. So I didn't bother looking it up. Hang on.
It's real. Okay, let's see.
Oh, okay, so they're in the Timor Sea. Yep, so it's part of the Northern Territory. So right at the very north of Australia, where you've got your traditional Aboriginal, like, you're more inclined to run into Native Australians, basically. Let's put it that way.
Well, and she's I mean, she talks like a street urchin, but but she's actually from a very upper crust, high society type family. So she doesn't interact with a lot of people that aren't of her caliber, if you know what I mean. And I guess we need to do one more thing here, just to sort of let you know how sheltered of a life maybe. She was on the Graham Norton show. We don't need to show very much of this. We'll try to not do one straight from the Graham Norton show. We will try to do one from someone else.
And Grifter wanted me to answer that. They don't generally like having their pictures taken because they do believe that having a photo of someone steals their soul, I think is my major understanding of it. They've sort of opened up to it a little bit more. It's more just if you're playing video or showing photos or that sort of thing, you have to give them a warning beforehand.
I'm
So to any native Australians or Torres Strait Islanders that may be watching this episode, please be aware that this footage may contain images of deceased individuals. We don't know. They could be watching this in 30, 40 years' time. I could be dead.
Could be. Hang on, I'm just kind of scrambling through here, fast forwarding until we get to it's her first interaction meeting Black Eyed Peas. Was it Black Eyed Peas where Will.i.am was part of? It was Black Eyed Peas, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
She met Will.i.am on the Graham Norton show. Oh God, this is from the Graham Norton show. We can't show that one; they'll hate it. Let's go to Brittany Summers. Her webpage, whatever that is, she doesn't care. Oh, damn it. Oh, fuck it. God dang it. Say something, Hayden.
I'll take this opportunity to grift.
Please do.
Guys, if you do not know who I am, where the bloody hell are you? I do generally a daily show. I will not be doing one tomorrow, but I will explain that towards the end of the show. I cover law, news, and laughter. Generally, there is some laughter involved. I did get criticised for my last show because, let's face it, it was pretty heavy. Locals is specifically for Kinky Corner, and we are now doing call-in shows now that Nick's shown me how to do it. And I also stream over on Rumble. So, get on it. I'm out of grifting.
Right.
What do you got?
Well, hang on. You didn't get through nearly enough of that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, look, the other things that I did bring to this particular show are a discussion of whether or not it is moral to terminate an AI once it obtains sentience. And for anyone that watched my show on Tuesday, I wanted to give a little bit more of a overview of the Albertson v. Google case. If you know, you know. Because I got my hands on the complaint. Like, I got the court documents. That based Chad said some pretty interesting shit in that complaint. So, wow, JSDs, you really got it out for me tonight. What's wrong? Is your usual hard on not doing it for you? Like, what's the go, buddy?
Relax, people.
Oh, it's fine. He obviously, I'm sure he's used to jerking off to me in the afternoon, so he's probably just not used to seeing me this time of day.
I can't find this thing. Oh, is this it? I think I just found
it. Got it? Yay!
Maybe.
Like the clitoris, he's finally found it.
Maybe. Maybe. Nope, I didn't find it. Anyway, I'll just tell the story because it's so less funny when I tell the story.
Okay.
Basically, she was on with Will.i.am, and she said she just basically looked at Will.i.am and said, "Oh, this is so fascinating. You're so fascinating because I don't get to meet a lot of black people, like outside of show business." And just kind of went on this how cool it was to actually meet a black person. And then he kept saying, well, he was using the Americanisms, I did this, and then we went over here and did this, and that set her off. And then she just starts yelling at him and telling him to stop using the word as a filler and gives him a proper lesson on how to speak. So she's not very culturally sensitive, and she's a lesbian, but she doesn't mix with like a lot of transgender people apparently. So she's not up on the proper way of interacting and the proper way to discuss things with people. So this is from her Netflix show. This is the trailer. I think it's the trailer for her Netflix show where she's meeting the transgender Aborigines from the Tiwi Islands in Australia.
Gird your loins, people.
Yes, gird those loins of fire. All right, let's see here. Boop, I'm bigging it. So here she is meeting these people for the first time. Oh, this is just
it's good. It's
Miriam. This is classic Miriam. And you know what would be even more classic is if I turn there we go. The volume is now on. So let's go back to listen to how she interacts probably with the first transgender people she's seen outside of some sort of production.
I'll admit, this is the first time I've ever come across this as well. So
Yes, I am. Oh, for heaven's sakes! Are you all men becoming women or women becoming men?
Men becoming women.
All men becoming women.
Yes. In the LGBTI community that we have lesbians.
I'm a lesbian.
I'm a lesbian. I just love her because she's so honest. she's so happy and just
she's loud and proud. Let's face it.
She is. And she just gives zero fucks and she's awesome. See, Flux, I want you to copy that. Flux, I want you to use this little bit here, her little outburst as part of your introduction to your show. That would be awesome.
Lesbians.
I'm a lesbian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Why didn't you know?
Well, you just told us.
Have you sliced off your cocks, any of you?
No, we still got a cockadoo.
That's kind of important, isn't it? But why haven't you shaved?
I've shaved once, maybe twice. Then it comes back again, so I can't be bothered.
But you know, to be a woman, you're going to have to get rid of all that stuff. But I get whiskers on my chin, and I have to pick them out with tweezers. Because that's what women do. Give yourself a chance. Never mind your cock. We can't see that.
You know, in our culture, we respect that person regardless of the look. We don't look on the outside. It's the inside that you have to change. And then
So
on the
my
outside,
telling you to shave is stupid of me. I should know that it's not what you look like outside. It's who you are and how you feel.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm just saying, like it's there for decoration.
Yeah.
I see.
That's how it
Well,
feels to
I
me.
apologize. Now I understand. So what is the fate of a transgender person in the Tiwi Islands? I mean, I use this word mate.
See, uh-oh. Bye, everybody. We're blocked.
Huh.
Wow. YouTube found us on Facebook.
That's pretty shit.
Wait 2 minutes. La 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 la. So, how is everybody?
We'll get there.
We'll come back. Stream is unavailable.
I'll tell you what, now I'm slightly uncomfortable talking about the base Chad guy.
Yeah, I think we're kind of probably getting we're not talking Bud Light. Mulvaney's off topic. We'll just wrap it up with the Murderous.
Okay.
Well, this is exciting.
Rumble doesn't play with Korean currency.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, because of Stripe and that. Yeah, fair enough.
Banking. That's just the banking laws. Yeah. Hey, we're back, everybody. Hi.
We're back. We're back.
Well, clearly we can't show funny stuff. But like I said, I just love Miriam because she just says what's in here, and it comes out of her mouth, but she's still willing to learn and understand people and go through things. But now, because we clearly can't talk about this, let's talk about something that YouTube approves of. Let's talk about murder and drugs. YouTube doesn't have a problem with murder and drugs. We can talk about that. Well, Porcelain Thunder says, Jeff took this opportunity to grab a Bud Light. Actually, Hayden and I spent that time talking about whether or not we were going to talk about the update to the Bud Light story, and we thought, let's not push it.
Yeah.
Because he who must not be named associated with Bud Light is in the news again, so shh.
Yeah, and let's face it, I already made my crack at it on Nick's stream, so...
Yeah. Well, so yeah, let's just talk about drugs and murder to wrap it up. How's that, Hayden?
Yep, works for me.
All right, when are you going to stream to Rumble? I can't make any money off of Rumble, frankly, because I'm a money grubbing whore. No, it's Korean banking laws and whatnot, and the way my position as a foreigner here does not allow me to get money from Rumble to a Korean bank account. But Rumble is where everything is backed up. I have the videos there. They're just a backup in case YouTube ever goes full nuclear. I still have.
Remind me to set up an offshore trust account for you.
Yes, please do. Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. Let's just talk about some murder for a while, and then we'll call it a night. Now, this story, some of you may have heard it because Hayden, I think, was the first one to bring it up, and a couple of people brought it up, and now it gets around to me because I'm at the end of everybody's news cycle, and I sleep before the next day's news cycle begins. This is from ye olde Lorax's home state of Utah. Let me get rid of Miriam. We don't want to play Miriam because YouTube doesn't like it. All right, go get that off there. But I have to close this so I can get that off there. Now I get to put this on here again. This lady just got arrested. Well, this lovely lady here, she was married to her husband once upon a time.
Technically, she's still married to him.
Yeah, well, especially if they were sealed in the LDS temple, then they're married for time and eternity. Poor bastard. I hope they're not. They live in Camas near Park City, so probably not. That's where all the heathens live. A children's book author who prosecutors say.
Wait, hang on 1 second. I heard what you said to Joe, and I was listening to it in the car on the way to my office this morning, and I laughed my ass off when you told that story about you getting off the plane, and the Hasidic Jew says to the other Jew, Welcome to Utah, the only place where you are considered a Gentile.
The only place where a Jew's a Gentile. That was I remember it was like 1991. That's how funny it was.
Oh my God. You were traveling and getting off a plane on your own in Utah before I was born. Fuck.
Oh well, whatever. Yeah, I was coming back from a studying in university for a year here in Korea. Jonathan, we don't say that word. We don't say the 3-letter word that begins with an A. When referring
why not? I'm not allowed to say it. Anyone else can say it.
I'm certainly not allowed to say. Anyway, yes. So this lovely lady here, she's a children's book author. The prosecutors say she killed her husband, and she's been battling with relatives over the family estate since his death last year. Court documents show. Corey, and that's how we spell Corey in Mormon land, Kouri. Corey Richens, 33, is accused of poisoning her husband with a lethal dose of fentanyl at their home in a small mountain town near Park City, according to the charging documents. And we will get the charging documents and we'll read through them. They sound fun.
Is it too soon to make a joke about potential riots in her hometown?
Nope. It's never too early to. Never too early. Let's see. The murder charges filed this week come months after Richens' self-published "Are You With Me?" an illustrated storybook chronicling a young boy who wonders how his deceased father remains a presence in his life. She literally wrote a book for children about how to cope with the loss of a father after she allegedly murdered her child's father.
And after what can only really be seen as potential attempts at murdering him previously.
Yes.
This has been an ongoing saga.
Prosecutors allege Richens called authorities in the middle of the night in March 2022 to report that her husband, Eric Richens, was, quote, cold to the touch. She told officers she had made her husband a mixed drink. So either they were Mormons or they're legal vices kind of Mormons. Made her husband a mixed drink to celebrate him selling a multi-million-dollar home. She then went to soothe one of the children to sleep in the next bedroom. When she returned, she found her husband unresponsive, and she called 911, according to prosecutors. A medical examiner later found 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in his system. In addition to the murder charges, Richens also faces charges involving the alleged possession of GHB, a narcolepsy drug frequently used in recreational settings, including dance clubs. She roofied her husband and then laced him up with 5 times the amount of fentanyl needed to kill a human being, which isn't really that much. So she roofies her husband and then fentanyls him up. The charges are based on officers' interactions with Richens that night and the account of an unnamed acquaintance who claims to have sold her the fentanyl. The acquaintance told investigators they sold Richens the opioid hydrocodone once and fentanyl twice. So, yes, she's also got a powerful narcotic, the one that makes OxyContin look like aspirin, in February and March 2022. GHB is not a narcolepsy drug. It's a horse tranquilizer. The charging documents allege Richens deleted text messages from the night of her husband's death before handing her phone over to investigators and may have tried to poison her husband on Valentine's Day, a month before his death. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you die. So she may have tried to poison him on Valentine's Day, hit him up with some GHB, you roofied him, then pumped him full of a bunch of hydrocodone, and apparently with fentanyl, and apparently tried to take him out with hydrocodone at one point.
Well, it was Valentine's Day. She wasn't happy with the stock standard chocolates and flowers.
I guess. Jeez. Shortly after their dinner, Eric became very ill. Eric told a friend that he thought his wife was trying to poison him. Eric, I think you may have been right.
He can't hear you. He's 6 foot under.
Investigators wrote, referring to the Valentine's Day incident. Richens' attorney, Sky Lazaro, declined to comment. Yeah, lawyer, like if you ever become a journalist and you're ever going to call somebody's lawyer to ask for a comment, don't waste your time. They're not going to comment. Did not respond to questions about where the children are. Oh, yeah, sorry, we skipped a bit. The Utah Department of Child Protective Services did not respond to questions about where the children are. Yeah, again.
Yeah, as if they're ever going to.
While their mother is held without bail. In Richens' book, this is the book that she wrote after she allegedly tried to kill her husband numerous times and finally succeeded. The boy wonders if his father, who has died, notices his goals at a soccer game, his nerves on the first day of school, or the presents he found under a Christmas tree. Yes, I am with you. An angel wing-clad father figure wearing a trucker hat responds, I am with you when you scored that goal. That's why there was only one set of footprints leading up to the goal. That's when I carried you. Or something like that. I am with, I think that's how the poem goes. I'm with you when you scored the goal. I am with you when you walk the halls. I am here, and we're together. Months before her arrest, Richens told news outlets that she decided to write Are You With Me after her husband unexpectedly died last year, leaving her widowed and raising 3 boys. She
To
said
be
she
fair,
looked-
it was unexpected because she did not think it was going to work this time.
Yeah, she didn't expect it to work that time. She says she looked for materials for children on grieving loved ones and found few resources. So she decided to create her own. She planned to write sequels. In warrants obtained by KSL.com and KPCW Radio, family members interviewed by investigators indicate that Eric Richins was seeking to divorce Corey and had recently changed his will and life insurance policy. One of Richins, yeah.
She's going to write sequels?
She was.
If I was in that family, I'd be very worried about right about now, and I'd be watching my food.
Yeah, I'd be like, well, okay, who is she going to write about next? When Auntie dies?
Well, either that or whoever she starts dating after the fact. Yeah. Oh, well, here's the one about the father dying. Here's a book, kids, for when your mother's new partner also kicks the bucket.
Oh, Lord.
God.
Yeah, so one of Richard's sisters told officers that Eric had long suspected his wife of attempting to poison him. Okay, Eric failed to learn the valuable lesson. If you believe your wife is trying to poison you, the long suspected part should not occur. It should have been once, and very briefly, he believed his wife was trying to poison him, so he got the fuck out of there. That's how that story should have ended. And he lived happily ever after with a not crazy, insane woman.
Yeah, and there should have been a trip to the hospital to obtain evidence to make sure that she was actually poisoning him. He should have then went and visited a divorce attorney, leaving his phone at a neutral location so she didn't know where he was going and tipping her off. This is not legal advice, people. But yes.
Long suspected his wife attempting to poison, including on a vacation to Greece several years ago. He suspected she's been trying to poison him for several years. Eric was not the smartest of people.
At this point, it feels like it's his fault. It just does.
Yeah. You don't like to victim shame, but Eric, yeah,
A book for when Grandma suspiciously keels over at the Thanksgiving dinner, just after changing her will.
Yeah. Jesus. The warrant describes conflict between the couple over a $2 million home that Corey purchased with the aim to resell it quickly despite the objections from her husband based on the price. Yeah, I'd imagine just going, honey, while you're at work today, I bought a $2 million home. I imagine that would cause some conflict between the couple. Civil court filings that were submitted in different cases after Eric Richins' death outlined how the suspicious circumstances surrounding his death have become entangled with questions over his assets and an estate held in a trust and managed by his sister. Richins has fought with members of her deceased husband's family since the day after his death in March 2022, the documents show. Well, they win. You're in jail. Richins and her sister-in-law had a fight the day after Eric's death at the family home. According to the documents, she subsequently sued for more than $3.6 million and to remove Katie Richins Benson as a trustee, arguing that a prenuptial agreement she and her husband had signed entitled her to his assets if he died before they divorced. Whew. Well, I don't think that's how it works. If you're allegedly, it remains unclear.
It's the whole you can't profit from the proceeds of crime. She killed him.
Yes, and we have the son of Sam law in Utah. It remains unclear how the dispute will be affected by the murder and drug. Here it comes up in the next sentence against Richins. Utah law prohibits those convicted of homicide from profiting from their crime.
There you go.
Well, and just in case there's more to the story than this. Oh dang it! Is this the? Again, me being me, I probably brought up the wrong story. Shit. Yes, this is the right one. Good. Phew. This sheds some more light on, yes, more attempts to kill her husband. There's a lot of overlap in this story, but there's enough fresh material that we get a little more insight into here. Did she kill him, or did he just not see the signs? Wait, what? All right. Same deal here. A Utah mother of 3 who wrote a children's book about losing a parent has been charged with her husband's murder. Corey Darden, anytime they mention your middle name in a news story, it's not for a good reason. Was arrested Monday, a little more than a year after her husband, Eric Richins, died of a fentanyl overdose in their home. He he and Richens shared with their 3 young sons in Camas, a small mountain town near Park City. A toxicology report revealed there was 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in his system. In March, around the 1-year anniversary of Eric's death, she published a children's book, Are You With Me? We can skip through this part. She gave interviews promoting the release and said she'd written it with her kids to help address some of the questions, like, why did you kill Daddy, allegedly? It's been a long, long year and a difficult year, she told public radio station KPCW. Writing this book has brought a little peace to me and my boys. She hoped it would help other families going through similar losses where the spouse murders her husband and leaves 3 children, allegedly.
Well, see, hang on. Is the book for the kids, or is it for the parent who's allegedly needs instructions on how to get away with it?
Probably for the kids. But regardless, the book sale page on Amazon has been removed. You think? Lordy. But
I tell you what, though, copies of that book are going to be extremely limited edition.
Oh, Lord.
Damn it, now I want one. Hang on.
Yeah. It's probably on eBay already. Less than 2 months later, and before her anticipated second book, Mom, How Far Away is Heaven? I don't know. Ask your dad. I sent him that. Could be released. Detectives spoke with a person who said they'd sold large amounts of fentanyl to Richens. Now she faces a charge of aggravated first-degree murder, as well as 3 felony counts of possession of a controlled substance and the intent to distribute. In Utah, aggravated murder can be punishable by a death sentence if the case goes to trial as a capital offense. Yep, we still take people out in Utah. Summit County Attorney Margaret Olson declined a request for comment on the case. Lawyers for Richens did not respond to a request for comment. Court filings obtained by Rolling Stone revealed a narrative of the alleged crimes. In the pre-dawn hours of March 4th, 2022, Richens called 911 reporting that her husband was unresponsive. When the Summit County Sheriff's deputies and EMS arrived around 3:30, they found Eric Richens on the floor at the foot of the bed. According to the arrest warrant, life-saving measures were attempted, but Eric was declared deceased. Dead is such a harsh word. He had died from a fentanyl overdose. The drug in his system was illegal fentanyl, not medical grade. So it was like street sweepings fentanyl. The medical examiner believed it had been taken orally. Well, thank God for that, at least. Sheriff's deputies then interviewed Eric's wife at the scene. She told them the couple had been home the previous night with their 3 children. They were celebrating Richens closing on a house. She gave him a Moscow Mule cocktail around 9 p.m. Wow, it's like she took lessons from Putin there. You don't drink tea with Putin. Bad things happen. No. Don't drink Moscow Mules with her. Bad things happen. Which he drank sitting in bed. Dude, why would you drink a Moscow Mule sitting in bed? She went to sleep shortly after that, she said, but woke up when one of the kids was having a night terror. What? Is it on eBay?
No, but there's a book review that went up 6 hours ago calling it a must-read for everyone.
Oh, dear. Okay. We'll get to the book review here in just a second. I thought we were done after reading this news story, but apparently we have to read the book review. So his child is having a night terror. Came back around 3 a.m. It was cold to the touch. There were some inconsistencies. For example, according to the warrant, she told deputies she'd left her cell phone plugged in her bedroom while she slept with her child. During the time frame, she reported being in the child's room. However, cell phone data revealed someone had been moving that phone around the house and sending and receiving messages that were later deleted. Information recovered from Richens' cell phone also revealed communications with an acquaintance of Richens. This is great. I love these conversations with acquaintances. Who was identified in the court records as CL, court filings reveal. According to the warrant, CL had a record of drug charges, including multiple charges of possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute. In a May 2023 interview with detectives, CL said that between December 21 and February 2022, Richens had asked CL for some prescription pain medication. It was for an investor with a back injury, she said. This is my favorite part here. Coming up in just a bit. CL had gotten her some hydrocodone pills. About 2 weeks later, in February, court documents state, Richens said the investigator wanted something stronger. She had asked for some of the Michael Jackson stuff. That's my favorite part. Can't you just see her like trying to kill her husband in Vacations in Greece and then giving him, hydrocodone, and he's like, "No, dude. I need some of that Michael Jackson stuff."
for the third time this week because won't take it.
Nice. That's good. There you go. So she asked for some of the Michael Jackson stuff and had requested fentanyl specifically. CL said they'd gotten her 15 to 30 fentanyl pills, for which she paid CL $900. A few days after Richens bought the fentanyl, she and Eric celebrated Valentine's Day at home. Shortly after dinner, Eric became ill. Again, he thought his wife was trying to poison him. 2 weeks after Valentine's Day, Richens contacted him again, asking for more fentanyl. So she pumped him with, 30 to 40 fentanyl pills in 2 weeks? 15 to 30. Needs some more, she said. Got another $900 worth. 6 days later, Eric was dead. Oh, he was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and enjoyed hunting and snowmobiling and cocktails. There you go. Jack Mormon. He had worked on his family's cattle ranch before building his own masonry business, the obit said. When he died, his and Richens' children were 5, 7, and 9 years old. How sad that now his bishop knows he was drinking alcoholic beverages after he died. Well, he wasn't drinking them after he died. They knew about it after he died. Made her initial appearance via WebEx. A judge advised her of the charges, spoke to her attorney, and a detention hearing has been set for May 19th. So a week from today, there'll be a detention hearing. Spoiler alert, she ain't going anywhere.
Oh, hell no.
And that's where I was going to end the show, but apparently we have a book review to read.
No, look, that's all right. I had a look at it, and it's... I mean, some of the comments on the Amazon thing are hilarious. Customer reviews. Hang on, where are we?
It doesn't take long, does it?
Nope. Yeah, I'll share this. The woman who wrote this book murdered her husband. Yes, the husband she is talking about in the book. Absolutely disgusting and crazy. If you bought this book for your kids, please take it off the shelf and burn it. Word needs to get out. She isn't a grieving mother or wife. She's a cold-blooded killer. A book written from the heart for a grieving wife and her children. Not really. This is generic dribble from the mind of a narcissistic killer. She needed more spotlight on herself. The ultimate victim of circumstance took her so-called grief to cash in.
Wow.
5 stars. A great story about a child coping with the loss of their father that was killed by his mother using fentanyl. Too bad they didn't add the part about mummy buying the pills from her dealer somewhere in there. 1 star. Must sue her for cheating readers and playing with readers' emotions. Every penny that was spent on this book must be returned with interest. What a horrible woman.
Nice.
It's a great book about... Oh, yeah. Well, one last one. It's a great book about dealing with the loss of a loved one. Even works if you're the one that murdered them. 2 thumbs up.
Oh, no. And Shizzy Wiznut says here, to make up for the black screen. Thank you, Shiz. Appreciate that. Thank you for making up for the black screen. Flux says, I'm going to buy her book. I never got over my dad's death. The book might be what I need, lol. You'll never look at your mother the same again. John Gary, should she write a book about when your daddy is dead and your mommy is in prison for life? She probably should. Unfortunately, she won't be able to make any money off the book. And Torgo the White says, brother, get the flamer. The heavy flamer. Okay.
I'm sorry, could I read one more?
Please do. Hey, Chandler.
A wise man once said that if opportunity does not knock, build a door. That's exactly what Corey Richards did. She lived the girl boss life and made things happen. Want to write about grief? Create something to write about. She is an inspiration to women everywhere, and any prison in the country should be honoured to have her as an inmate creator.
Nice. Nice. Good.
People could be so creative.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, that was again. It was another freewheeling conversation here. We've gone over. It's 12:15 for me, but it's 1:15 a.m. for Hayden. Mm-hmm. We all have lives to live.
Oh, I've got to get up early and adult. I've got to take the daughter to her first school orientation tomorrow to see whether or not she likes it and get her enrolled.
And just so we're all on the same page here, the first thing you want to do, you want to go over to Aussie Overlaw'd, subscribe to his channel. You definitely want to do that. Where are we at on subs at the moment, Ish?
Well, YouTube's doing the purge, so at the moment I'm sitting at... Oh, hang on, I need creator. I don't need the regular one. 12,600 and...
Nice.
Oh, I'm down 55 on the last month.
Oh yeah, that was me for the last. You gain 25, lose 30. Gain 25, lose 30. Yeah. And we've lost 7 during this stream so far.
12,667. Yeah.
I'd
like to think that all of those were from me, so I'm proud of that.
Well, I blame Miriam Margulies for losing 7 subscribers. Everybody, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to Aussie Overlaw'd. Hayden's a great man, great guy. Loved having time with him during the past 10, 11 months that we've known each other. Always a pleasure to be together. We'll hopefully be doing more collabs, and we're having a great time. So like and subscribe to him. And if you haven't, subscribe to me. Yeah, I'd love it if you did. And if you think you are still subscribed to either of us, please double check and make sure you really are still subscribed. We get that a lot. Oh, I've been unsubscribed from your channel. We've had mods, like mods who are members, paying
mods
members.
And paid members, yeah, get
and
unsubscribed.
Like one person that is both a mod and a paid member get unsubscribed. And one person told me they've been unsubscribed 9 times.
At different times, YouTube is asshole.
JKD Buck says, if everyone in the world abandoned you, Ozzy would be the only one who wouldn't, I think. Seems to be quite the dude. Ozzy is quite the dude.
Vices is well aware that he is one of 4 people that if they rang the bell, I would come running if they needed me.
Are you doing a show later today?
I will be. It just will be later than the usual show, because... I mean, I would be doing the show that starts at 3, except I need to get some sleep between now and 5 a.m., which would be nice, because I need more than 5 hours of sleep. Otherwise, I would then be moving that to 6, but then that's about an hour before I got to be at my daughter's school. So, guys, it'll probably be... I'm hoping that I won't run over Joe's show, let's put it that way. But yeah, there'll be a show at some point.
Who cares? Do it anyway. MG Lawson, the name of the book, it's like, I can't remember. What was it called? I can't remember.
Are You With Me?
Are You With Me? That's what it was called, right? Not anymore.
Neither of us are.
All right. Well, I have to send a quick text here because it ties into what I'm going to say next. All right. So, what's happening over here? We've got some good stuff coming up. I'm most proud of the thumbnail I made for you. That's like my favorite thumbnail I've ever made. Go and check out this. Oh, I was going to put that up for my background. Dang it, I forgot to do that in the hurry. Let's do it for the closing segment here. Hang on. Assuming I can find it here real quick. If of course you had to see the thumbnail to get here. But anyway, background replacement. We need to go full on here. Where did I put that? Go back to my horribly unorganized file of things. Oh, that wasn't too bad. There we go.
I've got to take some better glamour shots.
Need to take off that. Oh, I got a hat line. Cool. All right. Yes. It doesn't like detecting the edge of my hat very much. So yeah, this is my favorite thumbnail I've ever made, with legal vices, Aussie Overlaw'd with stern-looking Aussie, me pointing at the drop bear plummeting towards my head. That's actually this is my favorite thumbnail. But what's coming up? The monthly Fuck It Friday stream is happening tomorrow, Friday, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern U.S. time, 8 p.m. So that's 9 p.m. Korea, 9 a.m. Korea time, which means it'll be 1 a.m. UK time and 10 a.m. where Hayden is in the Australian Capital Territory, ACT.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you call it like Melbourne time or something?
I don't understand why you say ACT. We just say AEST.
Well, then
Australian
I'll say
Eastern
AST.
Standard.
Oh, EST. Okay. Wait.
AEST. Yeah,
That's too
Australian
long.
Eastern Standard.
All right.
So, but anyway,
whatever. Because that's what Wikipedia told me it was called. ACT, Australia Capital Time.
we hate Canberra. No one uses ACT.
I used to say Canberra, but then it's too long. But
Let's
yes.
face it.
So
Canberra wouldn't exist if Sydney and Melbourne could just decide where Parliament House was going to be. That's all it is. It's halfway between Sydney and Melbourne. So they said, right, we'll split up the area. This will be its own territory. This is where federal parliament's going to be.
Wow. Did not know that. I follow mostly, says the Japanese Yakuza 1, American channels, and hear the unsubscribe thing there. Barely anything on the European side. Might just miss it. Never been affected by it myself. Steph the Alter Nerd is in the midst of her own YouTube subscriber apocalypse. So again, if any of you are subscribed to her, make sure you still are. Because it seems like it's going across the board these days. I haven't talked to anybody that hasn't had it going on in the past couple of weeks. Me, it's been 6 weeks, but yay. So as I was saying, tomorrow is Fuck It Friday. It's the 1 year anniversary, the first anniversary of the Legal Vices channel for Fuck It Friday, where we just say, fuck it. We just have people on. We don't have any topics. We have a huge panel. People drop out. People come in. We have it full across the board. So far, the people that have indicated that they will be in attendance or will most likely be in attendance for at least a portion of the time are Ari Jacob. We always got, it's not a Fuck It Friday without Ari Jacob, because she's got to come either ripped up on tequila or peanut butter whiskey. Flux will be there. Potentially Criminal. Sean will be popping in. Drex said he will be there. Danny on Direct will definitely be here. Steph the Alter Nerd is going to pop in for a bit at the beginning. Aussie Overlaw'd has said he will be here for a while. Natalie Wisco has said she's going to desperately try to be here. Steve Gosney is a definite in. Nina Infinity, I did a show with her a couple days ago. She's going to try to pop in for a bit. Nicholas Starov will be there. Chandler Remington. Chandler will be here. Meme Copium. Legal Mindset. And the latest person to say they will try to pop on in is Law and Lumber Rob.
Awesome.
And there's a couple of other people we'll be reaching out to throughout the day tomorrow to figure out whether they're going to be here or not. But that's the lineup we have for Fuck It Friday so far. The rules are the same: $200 shots because I die. I almost died last time. But what I've done to sort of counterbalance things is we've moved up the proof of the alcohol. It was always $100 for 40% alcohol. Now we're up into the 50s and up in the good range. So just every $200 that comes in, doesn't matter who, from a single person, from an aggregate, whenever we hit that $200 mark, then we just do another shot. We don't delay it. Like back before, we would spread them out. The only thing we're spreading out is we've already been front-loaded 10 shots by the Brandon Collective. The Brandon Collective has front-loaded 10 shots. And don't worry, he got a steep discount for ponying up 10 shots. I gave him a steep discount. And we've agreed that those will happen every 15 minutes or slightly less than that. So we can get all 10 of them in 2 hours. So I guess that's about every 12 minutes or something ridiculous like that. And then in the meantime, every $200 that comes in between those shots, we'll get another shot. So
Vices is going to die.
Well, it depends on how generous people is. If nobody else contributes, I can do the 10 shots in however many, in 2 hours, no problem. If people continue to be as generous as they always are for my Fuck It Friday, where we try to get all of the grifting out of the way in one day, we just go hard in the paint. We get the grifting done so we don't have to grift throughout the rest of the day. Yes, $200 per shot. Yes. Not just one shot for $200. I mean, if you want to do that, that's great. But any aggregate of $200 is where we knock back a shot. No, it's not inflation, it's liver damage. Because last time was 35 shots, and then I did 27 shots the next time, and I was not right until about Thursday. And so, but that's why I said we're balancing it out. We're going from a 40% alcohol to a higher proof alcohol. So, less drinking, more drunky. So that's what we're going to do.
Liverflation. I like that.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So bring all your money, throw it all at me in one day so we can get out of the way and we don't have to grift hard in the paint for the rest of the month. So that's what's happening. Today. So that'll be Friday night U.S. time, and then I'll recover on Sunday. I haven't figured out what we're doing for Maritime Monday yet, but then I'm bringing up my calendar here for next week. Next week is fully loaded as well. We have Maritime Monday. Tuesday is Megan Fox, and then after Megan leaves, Aussie will be joining me for the Zachariah Anderson stream, I guess, depending what time it is. I didn't see Solomon said what time it was happening. I'll have to send him a message. And then on the 17th, I'll have Solomon Anderson on to talk about the sentencing, an update on the current status of the matter and what they're going to be doing going forward. And on the 18th is O.J. Simpson Day. And then Friday will be Stephen Gosney. So that takes us through the next week. And then after that, we've got Lauren. Lauren was on Nick's stream Friday with
Lauren.
you, Hayden. Yep. Yeah. So I was on her stream a month ago or so. And so I owe her a stream, so she'll be here. Lauren De Laguna, then don't know on Wednesday. We'll probably do OJ. I gotta check it. Let me check, but because I don't want to force him here on a day he's not prepared to be here. It is 9 a.m. the 30th. Okay, never mind. That's a week later. A week from next Tuesday is Rob from Law and Lumber. So I don't know what's going to happen on Wednesday. Yes, I do. We'll do. Okay. All right. I'm rambling. Hello, everyone. Lauren on Tuesday. We'll be doing OJ on Wednesday. Thursday will be Danny on Direct. Friday will be Steph, the Alter Nerd. So that's taking us up through the next 2 weeks. Don't miss it. The Law Rax's 1 year anniversary stream continues to roll forth, and it'll continue going. All right. That's it. That's all I got. Everybody, we will see you in just about 33 hours from now, 32 and a half hours from now. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Whew. Let's get it on. Bring all your money and throw it at your Law Rax. We'll see what happens. We're locked and loaded with some good whiskey. Sean will just be on whenever. There's nobody has. I mean, for like a one-on-one show. I'm trying to arrange it. Sean will probably be on early next month, or hopefully fill in one of the gaps. I'm gonna have everybody on. I love having everybody on. All right, that's it. I keep rambling. I'm gonna stop rambling. So until we see you 32 and a half hours from now, Aussie, give us your little outro there.
As always, people, remember, you are not a piece of shit. You do have value and you do contribute to society, particularly if you hit that like button. And also, if you head over to Twitter, Locals, Rumble, YouTube, Aussie Overlaw'd on all platforms.
And stay healthy, wise, and give me all your wealth 33 hours from now. Bye, everyone. Law Rax out.
Peace.